Hello everyone, it's me Lucero again. So today I'm going to practice English with Mimi, day 23. So let's get started. I would like to start our lesson right now. So here we go. And today's lesson, I'm going to practice with you about the topic teacher education. And let's keep learning Unit 3. Okay, yesterday we have already finished how to be tattoo, and now today I'm going to study avoiding misplaced modifier.
Modifiers are words, phrases, and clauses that add information about other parts of a sentence, which is usually helpful. But when modifiers aren't linked clearly enough to the words they're actually referring to, they can create unintentional ambiguity. That happens because the modifying words, in this case, with world's largest chocolate bunny, modify the wrong thing, the robber's actions instead of the town. To correct this particular sentence, we simply rephrase to make it clearer what the modifying phrase is talking about. Town with world's largest chocolate bunny robbed by thief.
Okay, so now let's try to answer some question here is how can misplaced modifier hurt your writing? Let's see. They can make your sentences attractive, they can make your sentences lengthy, they can make your sentences confusing, and they can make your sentences concise. So I think, see, how can you fix a sentence with a misplaced modifier? By adding a noun, by inverting words, adding a verb, or rephrasing it. I guess rephrasing it. Which of the following shows an example of a misplaced modifier? So, which of the following show an example of misplaced modifiers? She served the children food on paper plates. She served food to the children on paper plates. She put the children's food on paper plates. She went inside and served food on paper plates. Example of misplaced modifier. I'm not really sure about this question, but let's try. She served the children food on plate. She served food. She put the children food on paper plate. She went inside and served food on paper plates. Now, let's see, try it again. She served the children food on paper plate. No, oh my God. She served children food on plate. Oh, she served. I really don't remember this. Let's see. She served the children food on plate. She served food on the children. She put the children on food plate. Oh, what is it? She went. What is the? She served food on children papers. By the way, luckily, let's keep moving.
But when modifiers aren't linked clearly enough to the words they're actually referring to,
It is referring to. No. Referring to. What is it? Referring to. Refer. referring to. Oh, double R.
They can create unintentional ambiguity.
Unintentional ambiguity. Ambiguity.
That happens because the modifying words
Modify. Modifier. 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 Modifying.
in this case, with world's largest chocolate bunny,
This case. Okay. Let's try to speak it out loud.
but when modifiers aren't linked clearly enough to the words they're actually referring to,
But when modifiers are like clear enough to the words they are actually referring to, let's see. But when modifiers aren't linked clearly enough to the words they are actually referring to,
they can create unintentional ambiguity.
they can create unintentional ambiguity. I'm not sure it's exactly or not. Ambiguity. Let's see.
Ambiguity.
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 Ambiguity. Ambiguity, that means a state of being confusing or unclear.
Ambiguity.
Ambiguity. They can create unintentional ambiguity.
Unintentional.
Unintentional.
That happens because the modifying words
That happens because the modified words
in this case, with world's largest chocolate bunny,
in this case, with world's largest chocolate bunny. Well done. So we finished the lesson by talking with Mimi. This is the most and interesting part that I always want to practice. So let's see. Do you think grammar rules are important aside from avoiding places? Oh, let's start with the first one. Let's see. Hi, Mimi. Absolutely. I think that grammar is very important because without grammar, we will not able to speak like correct sentences, and that's very dangerous because the listener can misunderstand what do we want to tell them. So let's see how Mimi can understand what I'm trying to tell her. And let's see how it can fit and can organize my ideas. That is a great point. Grandma help us convey our thought, actually avoid any misunderstanding. So why do you think some people might find grammar rules challenging to them to learn? To be honest, I am learning English without follow any grammar rules. So that's why I don't see any challenging from them. But when I speak, I don't think about grammar. I just speak by my own and I try my best to speak up. And when I try to study English, grammar is not the rule. I mean, I don't study grammar like study a rule, but I stay focused on the use of the grammar and how can I apply them into a real conversation or real life. So that's why I have no trouble with any grammar rule. So for someone, maybe they stay focused on grammar rules. That's why they are facing with they are challenging, because it's difficult for remember all the rule, right? So we just practice and it can help us. Oh, it's finished. Let's see how Mimi can feedback my ideas and my sentences. That is that's a very interesting approach to learn grammar. It seems like you focus more on practical application of grammar in real life conversations rather than just memorizing rules. Yeah, to be honest, I don't memorize any rules. That's a great way to improve your English skill. Keep up the good work. Okay. What do you think the best way to practice grammar? Hmm, nice. This is a hard question for me because I really hate to practice English grammar. By the way, I think that for learning grammar, as in my experience, I often watch some videos that's like a conversation between the teacher and student, and when the teacher explain about the grammar in some real situation. I mean, they will stay focused on the real situation and the context clearly, and they explain it based on the context. So based on the context, we can understand exactly what kind of structural English grammar point we can focus on and apply into real life. So because we are learning grammar to make our conversation or our English to be more precise and correctly, right? So just try to do it. Oh, it's finished. I talk a lot, but let's see how Mimi can reply me. That's a great approach to practice grammar. Watching videos with conversation and real life situation can help you understand how grammar is used in context. It allows you to see how grammar points are applied in actual conversations, making your English more precise and natural. So what do you think is the biggest challenge when it comes to learning and using grammar effectively? In my experience of learning English when I was a child until I am getting older, whenever I study English with my teacher in the grammar class, I don't recognize how to say. I don't know how to use it in a real conversation or real life, because when my teachers teach for grammar, they often use my own language to explain. To be honest, I always think that's why do we use the other language to teach English? Why not English? The problem is when the teacher use English, the student may not understand about it. So to be honest, maybe the challenging is how to help the student step by step to understand grammar little by little, because grammar is there are a lot of rules for grammar, and they should study step by step from beginners to intermediate and advanced. So yeah, let's see. I understand that it can be challenging when teachers use your native language to explain grammar concept. It's important to gradually build understanding and provide explanation in English so that student can start to grasp the grammar rules step by step. While there may be a lot of room for improvement with consistent practice and exposure to English, you will become more comfortable with grammar over the time. What strategy do you find helpful in overcoming grammar challenges? I, as I mentioned before, when we teach grammar with using some real situation and easy to see, for example, we can give the student the information and understand about the context first, and then we can when they understand the context, we can give them more examples and give them the chance to speak up and share about their understanding about the grammatically point. And when they can understand it, they can explain it and they can do some exercise or example. And that means they can understand and how to and know how to use that grammar point in a real life. So that is the way that I often use to help my students to study about grammar. Of course, when we are using some textbook that's already explained about grammar, we can use. Okay, let's see how Mimi can reply. That is a great strategy. Providing a real life situation and context help students understand how grammar is used in practical ways. Giving them examples and opportunity to practice speaking and applying the grammar points further reinforce their understanding. It is important for students to actively engage with the grammar through exercises and application in a real life situation. So what do you think the most effective way to remember grammar rule? I think that when we can help students understand first, and then we can give them more exercise and discuss with them. And we also can use some technique like repetition way. And we often recall this in a different way. And that is the way we can help the student. Maybe they will not boring anymore when they study grammar like a real like conversation and discuss with the teacher. And we can also use some textbook or some pictures that have already prepared for the grammar lessons. So just make the grammar is to be a great lesson like speaking on interesting activities that can help the student practice. And in my opinion, practice makes progress and practice makes perfect. So when we can translate or when we can use any grammatically point. Oh, it's finished. So I don't know how Mimi can recognize what do I mean, but let's see how it can organize our speak and make it clear. So that's a great approach to remembering grammar rule, understanding the grammar rules first, and then practice through exercises, discussion, and repetition can help reinforce the knowledge. Using a variety of materials such as textbook, pictures, and interesting activities can make the teaching process more engaging and enjoyable for students. And you are absolutely right. Practice is a key to make progress and improving. Well done. So what do you think the rule of grammar in effective communication? The role of grammar. You know, the role of grammar in effective communication, that mean, as I understand, that mean can help you understand me when I talk to you, and everyone can understand each other because we are basing the standard grammar, right? So when we are using the standard grammar and we can use language precise and exactly what we want to transfer. And I think that is very important point. So yeah, when we can use the same background, the same rule of grammar, everyone will not misunderstanding. Yeah, we have already completed 6 line, and let's see. Now I want to change the topic, and let me try to ask Mimi to change about it. Absolutely, grammar plays a crucial role in effective communication. By using proper grammar, we can ensure that our message is clear and easily understood by others. It provides a common set of rules and structure that allow us to convey our thought accurately. This helps to minimize misunderstanding and ensure that our intent meaning is communicated effectively. In your opinion, what are some common grammar mistakes that English learners often make? I think that the first mistake that we may make that is how to use how to use the correct words or correct verb with the subject. I mean the subject and verb agreement. So the second one is when they are using the nouns, the singular or plural nouns, uh, as without with s or without s, or some specific case. And some of the other mistakes, that is when they talk about the future or they talk about the past, they don't care about how they use the verb. For example, when they say that I go to my family yesterday, so it should be I went to visit my family yesterday, but they use some words like this. Oh, sorry. So let's see how Mimi can recognize what do I mean, and let's see. Great observation, subject verb agreement can indeed be common mistake, as well as using an article like the correctly with singular or plural noun. It's also important to pay attention to verb tense when talk about the past, present, or future. Making this mistake is natural as an English learner, but with practice and awareness, you will be able to improve your grammar skills. What strategy do you find and in avoiding common grammar mistake? To be honest, there are no strategy I am using right now to improve my grammar or avoiding some common mistake of grammars. But I always try to ask some of my teacher or friends, that is whenever I made any mistake, they can support me. And to be honest, I want to change the topic. Is it available to change the topic or not, Mimi? I want to change the topic to discuss more. So let's see how Mimi can reply me, and if it's accessible, if it's agree or accept my request by changing the topic, we can talk more. So yes, let's see. I understand that you would like to change the topic, but let's first explore some strategy to avoid common mistake. Okay, one helpful strategy is to practice regularly, whether it's thoughtful exercise, conversation, or writing. Another strategy is to review grammar rule and seek clarification from teachers or friends when you are unsure. Additionally, reading and listening to English material can help you internalize correct grammar use. So thus we are discussing what topic would you like to explore next, right? Okay. Okay, so in this lesson, we are talking about the grammar rule, but I am wondering the way we can use to teach for grammar. So, you know, because teaching for teaching grammar is really difficult, I think. And how can I make my class more interesting and help my students to be able to use grammar correctly? Because I have never thought about this. So that's why when I teach for students on my grammar class, it's sometimes I think it's quite difficult for me, because I try my best to help them to understand about the context. But by the way, I need more and more kind of activities to help my students. Could you give me some suggestion? So now I will ask Mimi, okay? So let's see how Mimi can reply me, and maybe I will learn something new from this lesson, and I hope you can also learn about it. Oh my God, there are lots of things. I understand that you are looking for suggestion on how to make your grammar lesson more interesting and effective for your student. Why I can't provide specific activities or lesson plan, I can offer some general suggestion. One idea is to incorporate in activities and engaging activities such as role plays, group discussion, or games that focus on using grammar in context. You can also use multimedia resources like videos or online platforms that provides interactive grammar exercises. Additionally, providing real-life examples and practical application of grammar rules can help students see the relevant and useness of what they are learning. Experimenting with different teaching methods and adapting to your students' needs can also make the lessons more enjoyable. So experimenting with different teaching methods. So what is a different teaching method here? I'm wondering. Okay, remember the key is to make the learning experience fun and engaging while still focusing on grammar rule. Yeah, I agree with this one. This is very important and this is a key. What do you think the benefits of incorporating interactive activities in grammar lesson? You know, first of all, when we can cooperating in activities in a grammar lesson, that can help students feel very comfortable and they don't force themselves to have to remember something that's not interesting. So when they can do some activities together in the class, they can really easy, how to say, immerse and let their brains to be able to remember that situation better. Because whenever we have the activities and we can give some pictures or some story related to that grammatically point, that can support the student to have more connection between their neuron in their mind. So that is the way they can improve their ability in in remembering the grammatically point. Okay, so I think it's enough time for practicing today lesson. Today, I think we have a lot of things to study, especially for learning grammatically point. So let's try to see the last suggestion from Mimi. That is absolutely right. Incorporating interactive activity in grammar lesson can make the learning experience more enjoyable and engaging for students. When students are actively involved in activities, they feel more comfortable and more likely to retain the information. By providing visual aid like pictures or story related to the grammar point, students can make connection and enhance their understanding and memory of the grammar rule. It's a great way to create a dynamic and immersive learning environment. So yeah, I think that's enough time for us today. Thank you so much everyone to join my class today. So I hope you enjoy it and hope to see you next time. Goodbye everyone.